Hi from my platform, Linda's TV show. If it is your first time, you are welcome. Please, after watching this video, if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe, put on your notification bell to all notification. It is very, very important because it will enable you to know when I upload a new video. Here we upload videos on daily basis as it is happening. We are bringing it live and direct, undirected to you. After watching, you are free to criticize, you are free to say your opinion, but let us say it constructively. Myself, Linda, will be standing here watching this video together with you from the beginning to the end. Then we'll go to the comment section. I appreciate you all, my lovely subscribers, followers, those who comment and share this video as we watch the video right now.
The Kanu'S freedom is a constitutional guaranteed right. It cannot be stayed, according to Ihedora. So the appellate court in a unanimous judgment delivered Justice Oludotun Adefupe declared as illegal and lawful the abduction of Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria, and of course quashed the entire 7 charges retained by the trial court against him on the ground that the federal government breached all local and international laws in the forceful rendition of Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria, now rendering the terrorism charges against him incompetent and unlawful. That was last week, 13th. However, Ihedora have expressed optimism that Kanu would be out of prison yesterday. He advised the President, Major General Muhammad Buhari, to do the needful by obeying the court's order. He said it has been his position that the federal government has a right to appeal to the Supreme Court, which is constitutionally guaranteed right, but the only impediment to the exercise of that right is that the federal government must first of all comply with the order of the learned justice of the Court of Appeal, which discharged Nnamdi Kanu and prohibits further indictments or commencing any fresh criminal charges against him. It is settled in law, as has been held by the Supreme Court in plethora of cases, including the Apex Court's decision in the case of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu versus Lagos State Government, that an appellant will not be in contempt of an order of lower courts and approach the Supreme Court in search of equitable remedies to stay execution. So it is more so when, by the effect of the judgments of the Court of Appeal under reference, emphatically set aside the order of the lower court and the frivolous charge which had hitherto legitimized his detention from June 29, 2022, they are now terminated and became extinct on October 13, 2022. Now, furthermore, he said the freedom of Nnamdi Kanu, which is his fundamental and constitutionally guaranteed right, cannot be stayed. They said Nnamdi Kanu is yet to be released, though we will be formally approaching the State Security Service headquarters, what was yesterday, and all of that. So, hoping that by Monday they would have been ready, but here we are. He wasn't released. So he said, we expect to have Nnamdi Kanu released to us that yesterday. However, the federal government is yet to file any appeal against the judgment of the Court of Appeal as at Monday. But as had earlier stated, the federal government must first of all obey the order of the Court of Appeal and release Nnamdi Kanu, who has been discharged by the Court of Appeal before challenging the judgment before the Supreme Court. Like I said, I'm not doing this alone. I have a security expert, which is Dr. Bala Mohammed Hussaini, joining us from Katsina. Good morning, Dr. Hussaini. That need to be put into consideration. A lot of people misconstrue that, and he's been under attack, which is normal these days. But what Ihedora is asking is something that we also need to look at. How do you have a court that has discharged and acquitted and discharged someone, yet you are still, insisting that it has to be what you want? Well, let me quickly welcome Mr. Bala Hassani to ATM Blowout. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. Okay, I want to quickly bring you on here. I want to go back to Anchor's chat on the letter that made the rounds over the weekend, where Ihedora, former Imo State governor, is being said to have written to Malami Nnamdi Kanu saying he cannot be released because of the security situation. There's an antecedent to that. If you release him it could go back to what it was. So that basically they need to keep him and all of that maybe until after 2023 election. But let me get to bring your take on the supposed acquittal of Nnamdi Kanu. I use the word acquittal, not discharge, because the Attorney General and of course at the Security Council meeting they had last week, the Minister of Interior, Farag Oshola, came out to say that the federal government is considering next action. The Attorney General said that no, he wasn't discharged. He's been acquitted, he hasn't been discharged. While their legal terms are bickering here and there, let's look at the security situation, the challenges, the outcome of this acquittal and discharge side by side. Let's even say that the government decided not to discharge Nnamdi Kanu based on supposed insecurity that may disrupt the electioneering process, given Nnamdi Kanu's stand on Nigeria and all of that. Let's even say he's kept back. What are the chances that his boys, his followers, will not use that as a yardstick to create security, to create more security issues in the Southeast? Your take, sir?
Well, you see, I'm not an expert in law, so I will be careful with the wordings I'm going to be used, and what is really going to happen, whether he is released or not. There is tendencies of security threats comes 2023 election. He may decide and he may not decide whether there is going to be such or not. Just like a sort of order given every Monday that stay at home, and that also stands, and is being obeyed by the people, and nothing is done by the state government, nothing, neither the federal government. So the implication possibly will be that he may decide whether there is going to be an election or not. And believe you me, whether he is released or not, if care is not taken, nothing is going to happen concerning the stoppage in terms of the killings, in terms of vandalization of properties, in terms of arrest and kidnapping of security personnel, especially in the southern eastern part. But one thing that is very clear is that the government may decide to detain him on the ground that whatever that is in concomitant or that is clashes, that have an element of clashes to the peace and security of the people and the nation, the government can deny it anybody's right to be exercised. This is very clear because the Constitution supersedes any other law of the land. So if the government decides on the ground that they are not certain, they are not so sure that lives and property will be guaranteed, and even his own life, the government can also deprive him such right, and is constitutionally provided. And on that ground, they can decide otherwise. But whether he is released or not, there may not be peace and security in those areas. That is guaranteed.
Right. Thank you. Because when we look at this issue, why would yes, there are legal issues, we'll keep it on one side, but we're also looking at the security issues, which is very key. So the question we're asking, I'm going to ask you again, sir, is this. Looking at it side by side, let's say they release him for the sake of peace, so that nobody says that government is being held in contempt of courts or disobeying court order as usual, and then they decide to release Nnamdi Kanu back. How can the government? What do you suggest? What would you suggest they do to ensure that the system will not be heated up, the polity will not be heated up as usual, because he's been released before on bail, and of course we know how that ended up. Now that we're back here, Malami did say that there are some things he did, which was why they raise the issue of terrorism charges and all of that against him. Remember, he was released on bail the other time, and then he went back and continued and until they picked him up last year. So let's even say he gets back and goes back to, what he was doing before that landed him here. What are the guarantees that the government can manage the situation, or what do you suggest they do to ensure that they curtail whatever outcome this might bring security-wise?
You see, it's just true for the government to do the needful, to do what is supposed to be, what is the expectation of the citizens on the government. So such expectation is nothing more than protection of lives and properties of citizenry. On the other side is two categories. The traditional institution of the Igbos and the government in those areas. The role of the traditional institutions of the Igbos is to question, to teleguide positively on the young ones, to train positively on the younger ones, principally the Igbos. The traditional, the role of the government is for the government to make sure that those ethics, rules and regulations governing the affairs of the states should not be in jeopardy. Those rules and regulations governing the movement of people should not be in jeopardy, should not be in everybody's hand. Whether there is stay-at-home order, whether the government is not willing to do what it expected, whether the traditional rulers should not do as expected, there should be a decorum in the affairs of the people, so that other people, other ordinary citizens that they don't know anything about it, even if they don't know, but they have never partake in whatsoever, let their lives and property be respected so that they can move on with their daily lives and see the possibilities, see the tendencies of addressing other vital and livelihood issues. On the side of the government, like I said earlier, the government on the ground that she is not so sure that the lives and property will be safeguarded. On that ground, the government can still detain him. But what we are saying and what we are trying to look at is a peaceful coexistence nation. And for grievances to be addressed, there are certain channels that is clearly spelled out. And for the IPOPs, they should also see to it, if they want to break away, there are procedures. They have representatives. Follow the normal procedure. Let it be a referendum, whether it's going to be for or against them. But let there be an ethics. Let there be a decorum on whatever a citizen, a particular citizen, should go about doing what he or she is thinking to be given.
Thank you so much for sticking to this video to the end. Like I said before, now it's time for us to go to the comment section to air our mind and our opinion. Say what you think about this video and this platform. Do it constructively. Share this video, like, subscribe, and also continue to watch Linda's TV show, because this is the home of news. Until I see you again in my next video, remain blessed. For now, I would say bye-bye.